it's a painful reality of human nature. People rarely cherish something until it's no longer within their reach. It happens in relationships, in friendships, in careers. We assume that what we have today will be there tomorrow, and because of that, we get comfortable. We stop appreciating, we stop noticing, we stop putting in the effort. Think about it. How many times have you seen someone take their partner for granted, treating them as if they will always be there no matter how little effort is put in? They assume the love, the care, the patience, and the dedication will never run out, and then one day it does. One day that person who was always patient, always understanding, always willing to fight for the relationship decides they've had enough, and that's when reality sets in. But by then the damage has been done. See, appreciation works best before something is lost, not after. A person can beg, they can promise, they can finally see what they should have seen all along, but it no longer holds the same weight. Why? Because appreciation delayed is appreciation denied. It does not erase the neglect, the dismissiveness, or the feeling of being unseen. And the problem is that people live under an illusion. They believe they have more time to fix things, more time to start appreciating, more time to get their act together. And that belief, it's dangerous. It causes people to procrastinate on valuing what's in front of them, never realizing that time is always running out. That one day, there won't be another chance to do better. This is where regret comes in. The moment when someone looks back and realizes all the little moments they brushed aside. They remember the good mornings they didn't respond to, the deep conversations they half listened to, the effort they dismissed as just something you do. They recall all the times you stood by them, lifted them up, forgave them, fought for them, and they finally see how rare that was. They start replaying memories in their head, searching for a way to rewrite the past. But the past doesn't change. The truth is, what they're feeling now is the consequence of their own choices. They had the chance to recognize your worth when it mattered, and they didn't. People underestimate the power of presence. They assume that just because someone is there today, they'll be there tomorrow. They assume that love means infinite patience, that loyalty means unlimited chances, that kindness means a lack of boundaries. But that's not how life works. Everything has an expiration date, including opportunities to do better. And here's the hardest part. They will try to fix it. They will reach out, they will say all the things they should have said before. They will finally act as if you matter. But what they don't understand is that some realizations come too late. Some bridges once burned cannot be rebuilt. This is the lesson they have to learn. Not through words, not through explanations, but through experience. Because when you fail to recognize value in the present, you are forced to mourn it in the future. And that pain, that's a lesson that stays with you. Too often, people forget their worth in relationships. They bend, they compromise, they give and give, thinking that if they just love harder, try more, or prove their loyalty, the other person will finally see their value. But here's the truth. You should never have to convince someone of your worth. If someone doesn't recognize what they have while they have it, that is not a reflection of you. It is a reflection of them. When you step into the mindset that you are the prize, everything changes. You no longer tolerate half-hearted efforts. You no longer accept being an afterthought. You stop justifying someone's lack of appreciation, and you certainly stop making excuses for their inability to see what's right in front of them. The problem is that many people are conditioned to believe they need to earn love by proving their value. Maybe it comes from past experiences, childhood wounds, or societal pressures, but the idea gets embedded deep. If I do more, if I give more, if I show them I'm irreplaceable, they'll finally appreciate me. But that's a dangerous trap. The moment you believe you have to prove your worth to someone who should already see it, you've already lost. Because someone who truly values you does not need constant reminders of why they should. They don't need to be begged to treat you right. They don't need to lose you before they realize what they had. This is where self-respect comes into play. When you know your worth, you do not chase validation. You do not lower your standards just to be chosen. You do not settle for someone who only realizes your importance once you walk away. Because the truth is, if they didn't see your value while they had access to you, then they didn't deserve you in the first place. People often think love is about endurance, how much pain you can tolerate, how long you can wait for someone to change, how much you can sacrifice for the sake of keeping them. But real love doesn't require you to diminish yourself. Real love doesn't require you to exhaust yourself just to be seen. The moment you shift your mindset and understand that you are the prize, you start moving differently. You no longer waste energy on people who make you feel like an option. You stop pouring into relationships where you are the only one putting in the effort. You stop trying to prove your worth to someone who should have never questioned it in the first place. And here's what happens next. When you remove yourself, when you finally walk away, when you step into your power, suddenly they see it. It's in the silence where they realize your absence speaks louder than your presence ever did. It's in the emptiness where they understand just how much you brought to their life. It's when they try to find you in someone else and come up short that the truth finally sinks in. You were never just an option. You were the best thing they had. But by then, it's no longer your problem. People live their lives as if time is infinite. They assume they will always have another chance, another opportunity to fix things, another moment to make things right. But the truth is, time does not pause for anyone. It does not wait for you to realize what you had before it's gone. It moves forward, whether you're ready or not. In relationships, people make the mistake of believing that they have an unlimited amount of time to take things seriously. They assume that just because someone loves them today, that love will still be there tomorrow even if they neglect it. They assume that patience is endless, that forgiveness is always available, that effort can be delayed without consequence. But time is not a luxury, it's a currency. And once it's spent, you don't get it back. Imagine someone who has been given something rare, something valuable, but instead of appreciating it, they take it for granted. They assume it will always be there. They neglect it, they overlook it, they fail to see its worth, and then one day, it's gone, just like that. At first, they don't understand the weight of their loss. They believe they can fix it. They believe that if they say the right words, make the right promises, show the right emotions, they can turn back time. But life doesn't work that way. Once a moment is lost, it's lost forever. Once someone has decided to walk away, the damage has already been done. Regret is one of the heaviest burdens a person can carry, and it is always the result of ignoring the value of something when it mattered most. The realization doesn't come when they still have a chance. It comes after the door has closed, after the messages go unanswered, after they see you moving on, thriving, no longer available to them in the way you once were, and that's when desperation kicks in. They start looking for ways to undo the past. They start reminiscing about what was. They replay conversations, remembering moments where they should have said something different, should have acted with more appreciation, should have given more effort. But no amount of reflection can change reality. This is the moment where they realize that the same time they once wasted is now working against them. The same time they once ignored is now the very thing that has sealed their fate. They had the chance. They had the opportunity. But instead of taking it, they assumed they could wait. But time does not pause. It does not rewind. It does not grant second chances just because someone finally understands what they lost. It keeps moving forward, and so do the people who refuse to wait for someone to appreciate them too late. People often get stuck looking back. They replay memories, analyze conversations, and wonder what could have been done differently. But the truth is, the past is already written. No amount of thinking, regretting, or wishing will change what happened. The only thing you have control over is what comes next. When someone realizes they lost you, they will try to drag you back into the past. They will remind you of the good times, the moments that made you smile, the laughter you shared. But here's what they won't talk about. The times they took you for granted, the moments they made you question your worth, the way they assumed you would always be there no matter how little effort they put in. And that's the key difference between you and them. They are looking backward, trying to relive something that no longer exists. But you are moving forward. The best thing you can do for yourself is to recognize that your life is not behind you. Your best days, your greatest love, your most fulfilling experiences, they are still ahead. But you will never get to them if you are constantly looking over your shoulder, wondering if you should give someone another chance to appreciate you. Let them sit in their regret. Let them realize that they gambled with something rare and lost. Let them feel the weight of knowing that while they are stuck in the past, you are building a future without them. And here's the thing about moving forward. You don't just heal, you elevate. You grow into a version of yourself that no longer tolerates what you once did. You learn to value yourself in ways you never have before. You start attracting people who see your worth immediately without needing to lose you first. This is what truly stings for the person who let you go. Because they don't just lose you, they lose access to the future version of you. The stronger, wiser, more self-assured you. The one who no longer entertains empty promises. The one who no longer waits to be chosen. The one who realizes that what's coming is far greater than anything left behind. And that is why the past no longer matters. Because while they are mourning what they lost, you are stepping into everything you deserve.